New year, new start, completely new team.
Mate, why'd you take fantasy football so seriously?
If you don't know the answer to that, I'm out of here. Alright, so after the disappointment that was Gameweek 20, or only brought in 38 points, I've decided to play my wildcard and completely overhaul the squad that I'm going to go into the second half of the season with. And before I get into that and reveal who I've brought in and what changes I've made, I just wanted to say that you can get 15% off these t-shirts if you want to buy one. Link is in the description. Just use the code ALLNEW15 and you'll be able to get 15% off. Now moving on to the squad that I've brought in. So yeah, complete overhaul. I did make an error as well. So this is a word of warning. If you wanted to make a fun looking squad like I did, this lineup looked awesome. It was completely symmetrical. What I didn't realize is that after I clicked confirm transfers, it basically wipes out any of the value that I would have had on the players that I took out. Meaning that I did have Mahrez in the squad, took him out, and now if I want to bring him back in, it's going to cost me 0.7 million to bring him in extra. So yeah, basically don't mess around with your transfers if you're going to play your wild card like I did, because now my team value has plummeted down to 100 million again. So I'm basically starting completely afresh without having those extra funds available. So yeah, hands up, schoolboy error on that one. Don't do that if you're thinking about playing the wild card. Yes, it did look nice, it looked funny, but don't do it if you want the maximum value from your team. Anyway, moving on. This is the lineup that I'm going with for Game Week 21. And I just want to talk through some of them. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will make your own suggestions or changes to this team. I know full well about the KDBs, about the Özils, about the Payets, about Costas. All those players I know about, but I can make the case for pretty much any of them, and I can make the case for anyone in my team. So yeah, this is the one I'm going with. I'm sticking with it. I'm happy with it. That's it. No more changes. I mean, I spent too much time messing around trying to make the pretty lineup. I'm just going to play with this one now, and that's it. Stick, done. So yeah, in goal, Wayne Hennessy, basically for the fact that he's got a really nice fixture in the form of Aston Villa. Pains me to say it, but Villa are pretty much done and dusted in the Premier League. It looks like we're going to keep on conceding goals, going to keep on misfiring. I just can't see it being turned around. So yeah, now I think a good tactic for FPL would be to bring in players who are playing against Villa. It's depressing to say it, but yeah, it makes sense. Now also I've got Ashley Williams. Looking at Swansea's fixtures, they've got 2 home games on the bounce, and Ashley Williams has been bringing in a lot of bonus points lately, clean sheets galore, and he can score goals as well from time to time. So yeah, happy with that. Leighton Baines, probably the most controversial of the players that I've brought in. For me, he's going to be back and scoring a lot of points. He's on free kicks, he's on corners. Don't know if he's on penalties yet, but we assume that he will be. So that's why he's in. Even away at City, I'm thinking, yeah, City should completely trounce Everton, should win comfortably. But if Everton do get anything out of the game, I'm expecting Baines to be a part of it. So maybe he can sneak an assist, maybe he can sneak a late penalty. That'll be nice. So yeah, Baines is in, and I think that's a nice long-term investment as well. So that's why he's in. And then looking at the midfield, again, Cabaye is in there. Now next I've also brought in Willian. I think it is time to start backing Chelsea. They look to be in form. Now Willian is probably the most transferred in player of this game week, with good reason, scoring 13 points last week. Pretty much everything went through Willian, especially when Hazard's out injured as well. Now also looking at Swansea's games, they've got again 2 home games coming up. Andre Ayew, he's been off the board a little bit, but I'm thinking he could come back and do very well for Swansea. Was also thinking about Gylfi Sigurdsson in there. Potentially either one of those would have been nice, but I'm going for Ayew over Sigurdsson. And now looking at City as well, I'm bringing in Yaya Toure. I just think that he is a very nice cheap alternative to KDB. If for whatever reason De Bruyne misfires, then Yaya should be there to pick up the pieces and bring in those points. So moving on to the strike force, CB20 is back in. Hoping for big things from him in the second half of the season. He should do well. Liverpool, yeah, kind of shaky at the moment, but just expect some big things from him. I know Costa could be in that position. I know Igalo could be in there as well. but I'm going to go for Benteke over those two. Now also looking at Aguero, say no more really, we all know what he's capable of. He could bring in a lot of points with City's upcoming fixtures. They have 2 home games, look really nice, and as long as Aguero plays, he should be amongst the points. And he's going to be captain this week as well. And Harry Kane, I've just been sick of watching Spurs play and expecting him to score with pretty much every touch he has. He's going to come into my team and hopefully do the business for me instead of doing it for everyone else. And on the bench, I've put Courtois in there. Now, again, I've gone down that line of backing Chelsea. I just think Hennessy's got more chance of a clean sheet this week over Chelsea. So that's why he's on the bench. But he will be brought in next week for Game Week 22. He'll then be starting and pretty much start from there onwards. So unless anything happens to him, that's pretty much going to be my goalkeeper for the rest of the season. And I'm happy with that for now. And also on the bench, Bellerin for Arsenal. I think this is just one. I don't really want to make too many transfers in the defence long term. I want to be able to manoeuvre the midfield or the attacking options. So Bellerin's on the bench for now. He will then be starting the next week and probably going to be starting from here on out. Just on the bench this week. Dele Alli for Spurs. Again, it was a toss-up between him and Cabaye. I'm just going for Cabaye this week over Ali, purely down to the fact that Palace have got Villa. But Ali will then be figuring my team a lot for the rest of the season. And Smith for Bournemouth is kind of going to be a bit part player, I think. But Bournemouth have been sneaking a few clean sheets of late. I did have Matt Targett in that position for a long time. So I just think it might be worth having a player who can actually score points in that last spot. So yeah, that's it. That's my team at the moment. That's how it stands. I'm sure you can have a lot of suggestions. And I do welcome all the feedback. It's just that this is what I'm going to play and I'm not going to make any more changes. So I know you'll be suggesting Özil, KDB, other players, but this is what I'm going to stick with. And this is going to be a long-term investment as well. I'm going to keep this team for a while. As I said in my other video, making my New Year's resolutions, I'm not going to make stupid transfers, no point hits, no differential seeking out, which I maybe have broken already. No more dodgy captain picks as well. That's probably the one that I'm going to stick to the most. The fact that now Aguero's captain, I think that's a pretty safe choice. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video to see how we do. Yeah, good luck for the Game Week 21, and I'll speak to you all soon.